back to another video. It is Monday, October 21 today. I'm home from college for the week. It's reading week. So I'm over here getting a bunch of stuff done on the farm. Starting out today mixing a load of TMR, or two of them actually, for the milk cows. But you can hear TMR mixer isn't quite running right. It's having some issues with the carburetor, so later today we're gonna work on that. So yeah, we've been struggling for a little while now. Just kind of been working on it, making it keep running for the past couple weeks, but now I finally have time to dig in and hopefully get it to run right. Yeah, otherwise it just shuts off like that. There you go, I just got the carburetor out of this TMR mixer here. We're gonna take that apart, but quite a lot of little odds and ends in here for stuff to take off, but we got it out. So yeah, gonna work on this. Just gonna go ahead and start pulling everything off. Normally, a lot of people would just put a new carburetor on. If you went to a shop, that's what they'd do. Kind of because of cost. Most shop door rates now are $100 an hour, and a new carburetor is around $140. And then even if you do rebuild them, they still don't have the same warranty. See, look at all that dirt. So yeah, now we got to start recalling where everything came off of. But there you go. I'm gonna clean it up, and then we will be off to the races for taking this thing apart. Just realized this actually goes in there. I was wondering, I didn't think it went on there, but it did fit. Just gonna go ahead and get all this junk off, and then we will go ahead and take it apart. Okay, I got the carburetor mostly cleaned up. Gonna go ahead and start taking it apart. I'm no expert with these things, but I know enough about them to get them to run properly. And it is worth my time at home to take it apart, put it all back together, make it run properly. But yeah, at school, well, we don't deal with carburetors anymore, but when we deal with fuel pumps at the college, they showed us how to take them apart and rebuild them. But in the real world, unfortunately, now with the price of shop rates and no warranty on kind of the rebuilt stuff, or limited warranty, we don't get into a lot of rebuilds. So yeah, anyway, took the bowl off the bottom of the carburetor and cleaned it. I'm now gonna clean these little jets out here. Should just come out. Might take a little bit of, I'll work away at it. Couldn't get them little nozzles out, but there's a little filter here because the carburetor doesn't seem too dirty. I took out, and you can see it's actually pretty packed full of junk. So you're gonna go ahead and clean that. Then I'm gonna put it back together after. There you go, there's that little filter all cleaned. I'm just gonna throw that in some carb clean, along with these two. Nozzles, I am gonna put them back, each in the same cylinder, but they're kind of marked a little differently the way they came out with the screwdriver, so I'll be able to tell the difference. But yeah, I'm gonna let them soak in the carb cleaner. I'm gonna go for breakfast. It's 9:30 now, so I've been working away here in the barn, or the hired help was this morning. That's why I was working in the barn with the TMR mixer versus in the shop. Otherwise I probably would have brought it there, but this was just the most efficient way for me to be able to do everything. And then, since the hired help needed a couple more odd jobs to do before she had to leave, I could just quickly find something to do versus her having to walk over to the shop and find me. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go and have breakfast now. Well, that soaks, and then I'll put it all back together and we will run the TMR mixer. So I'm sure I got it figured out. I probably didn't even have to take apart the carburetor to clean that, or now I know, because this filter sits in here, which is on top of the carburetor. I did end up sticking a little screwdriver down there a couple times trying to clean it out at one point when I was having issues, but yeah. So in this case, buying a new carburetor would have helped, but it wouldn't have been the carburetor, it just would have been the little filter. So it's kind of one of the benefits to tearing everything apart. You can figure out what it is. But yeah, it's kind of unfortunate nowadays with shop rates. If I was to bring that motor into a shop and say it didn't run right, not everybody does it, but more often than not, they'd throw a new carburetor on, it would run fine, and they would have just said it was the carburetor. Yeah. Anyway, put it back together after breakfast. So, took 2,870 hours for this TMR mixer to give us grief with that, so that's really not that bad for that little filter to plug up in that many hours. The fuel is filtered through this filter here too. We've changed these a lot. Yeah, almost 3,000 hours on it. So hopefully after we put everything back together today, we'll be good to keep on going. 'Cause yeah, this mixer runs twice a day feeding cows, so when we have breakdowns on it, it's always a little bit of a pinch to get it going again, but still got lots of time before soars tonight to get it back together and run it a little bit, but we should be all ready to go. Anyway, I'm gonna have breakfast now. Alright, it's after breakfast now. See how dirty that carb clean got from cleaning everything. I'm gonna go ahead and put everything here back together, get the carburetor all ready to put back on the mixer. So let's get to it. Alright, it's all back together. Time to put it on. It's actually quite a few different hoses and whatnot to be attached to here. We got our electrical. There's another hose right at the bottom here. Governor on the side, along with one line there, one line on the top there, one on the side, along with the choke. So quite a bit, but we'll get it put back on. And there you go, we got the mixer running again. It'll actually idle finally. The past couple hundred hours, I've been finding that it won't low idle properly anymore. But yeah. And when you rev it up all the way, good there too. I cannot believe how smooth that runs now. We've been struggling for a long time trying to keep this thing idling properly. But it's running good now. One of the clamps for the fuel filter isn't on right. There we go. But yeah, this mixer has 2,870 hours on it, like I already said. So there you go. That's the morning project done. I'm gonna go home and have lunch now. It took a little longer than I would have liked to put it back together, but we also had Norwell stop by today to drop off milk house supplies. And I'm the only one over in the barn today. Dad's working in the office, and Mom is over at a meeting, so yeah. Anyway. Okay, it's after lunch now. You can see I got the water hose out here hooked up to the power washer. Nice long section of hose. I'm gonna start power washing. I'm gonna power wash our turbo tail here, our Great Plains 850, and then I'm gonna try and get started on our harvester as well. So yeah. Anyway, let's get started. This thing's pretty covered in dirt, but yeah, I'm gonna put the cylinder locks back in it as well. Because otherwise I'll finish power washing and I'll unhook it. And I won't remember to. It's just these little locks that go in here. There's one on each side, but just like that. Okay, I am going to start power washing now. I don't quite know what happened, but this power washer doesn't really have a lot of pressure right now. So I'm probably going to stop power washing and try and fix it. Because, you can see, it's not really doing much better than the garden hose would. Okay, gonna see what's wrong with it. Throttle's all the way up. Gonna look at that pump. The pump's not even that old, I just put it on last year. I got a little more pressure, but you just hear that power washer can't take it, or the motor rather. Pretty old power washer. I might have to work on it a little bit and try and get it to run a little better too, like that TMR cart. Alright, it did a bunch of work to the power washer. It doesn't have dirty fuel, nothing like that. But what I did is I turned up the pump, added more pressure, and then the motor couldn't stay running. So I went ahead and accounted for that. You can hear now the motor's actually running a little better. I just turned up the RPMs a little bit. That motor's getting pretty old. It's 2011, I think. We do a lot of power washing, so over time the springs really stretched and everything, because that power washer pretty well just sits at full RPM all the time. So that's why I turned up the RPM. And now we can actually power wash. I might do a little more fine tuning to some stuff, just to see what we can do. Maybe get a little more pressure, that would be nice, but we'll see. I just can't seem to keep this power washer working. But it's getting pretty tired. It needs a bunch of stuff done to it. The exhaust shroud tore off. If I go ahead and put the fuel cap back on, what'll end up happening is it'll stall out because the breather on the fuel cap's all plugged up. It's getting a little wore out, but we're pretty well done washing this. Some of the stuff on the inside, some of the discs I didn't get, but I don't have enough pressure to get it all, unfortunately. So, yeah. Well, I am going to call today on power washing because I am fed up with the power washer. But we got the turbo tail cleaned. I was going to power wash the harvester, but I'm not going to do it now anymore. I might go ahead and do it later, but I've ran out of patience. Over in the barn, getting stalls ready for cows to come in. Going ahead and putting this kind of powdery stuff on the stalls. You can see it's very dusty. We switched recently to a different company just because this is what our feed mill carries, and they'll drop it off to the farm. Instead of dry care, this is called dry start. I don't know. It's about the same, like does the same job. I just find it's really dusty. You can just see, grab a handful, and so, yeah. Anyway, whatever works. Put a little bit on the end of the stalls as I have time. Since it's reading week, I have a little bit more time. So, maybe I can do it every day this week. Just doesn't seem to happen as much when I go to school. Because, yeah, people don't have time, so. Anyway, I'm going to go do the other side of the barn, and then I'm going to put shavings on the stalls. There you go, we finished putting dry start on the stalls, and now I put dry care on. So, all done there. They already have pellets in the manger too, so we're all ready to let cows in half an hour. Mix and feed for the night now. TMR mixer's running flawlessly now. Yeah, this is load number 1 out of 3 for the milk cows. I'm also gonna feed the heifer barn tonight. A little bit of TMR. What I'm doing is, you'll see over there's some baleage laying in the manger there, left over. And what I do is I scoop it all up and I dump it in the TMR cart along with some corn silage. That way we can feed a little bit of corn silage in the TMR, or the dry cows in the TMR instead of dumping it on top. Just a little bit of grain helps, so yeah. So I'll do that after. It also kind of helps stretch out, not having to feed as many bales. We have lots of bales, but it gets you another day, and we have all this corn silage to get through before winter. We have to finish an egg bag. We're on track to finish it by the end of November, but yeah, I just like to use it up a little quicker, and the TMR is just way better than dumping the bales in the manger there like that. So yeah, anyway. There you go, a couple bucketfuls, we'll dump it in, then we'll go ahead and grab a bucket of hay, or a bucket of corn silage, sorry. After we have all our hay and baleage in, and it'll all mix up. So there's a cow calving over in the heifer barn right now too. It's kind of nice that I'm over there doing this, and I can keep an eye on it. There you go, there's the calf. This is Diamond here, she's the mom. This is her second calf, and it's a heifer. So, nice dark red heifer calf. You can see already, she's leaking milk. She'll be a great cow. I really like her red and white cows, so there you go. There you go, there it is, all grinding up. Pretty happy with how this looks. Anyway, they're waiting. Takes a long time to actually get out of the mixer because how long and stemmy it is. These bales aren't topped up, otherwise it wouldn't take long for them to get out of the mixer, but now it takes a couple minutes to get a load unloaded. But yeah. It's also, we're still running the original knives in this mixer, and we don't have a full set in. Because when we bought the mixer, this wasn't something we were thinking about doing, but anyway. See, look at that product. I'm really happy with that. I like our tower silos better than baleage, but I don't fully hate baleage. I just don't like the way that we're set up to feed it with dumping the bales in the main here. My take on it is baleage and TMR is better than just dumping the bales in. So that's why we're doing it the way we're doing it. Just a couple nights a week or whenever I can. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna mix one more load up for that barn, and then I'll finish feeding the rest of the cows and a close-up cow ration. This load for the heifers didn't mix as well, but that's alright. It's taking a little longer to get out of the mixer as well. But yeah, nice thing about this now is we won't have to feed grain in the morning and even maybe tomorrow night, depending how much they still have left. Yeah, grain from the feed mill is pretty expensive versus the top. A couple more loads of corn silage a year really doesn't cost us a whole lot more. Pretty good over there. It's got two moms now. There you go, I'm done feeding now. Pretty crazy to see. This calf was born an hour and a half ago, and it's just walking around the pen. So that other cow there behind Diamond, she's probably gonna calve tonight too now, looking at her. But there you go. It's another calf. It needs a name. Has to start with D, so yeah. The other cow calved too now, so we're milking her. Her calf is by the robotic calf feeder right in front of her there.